Welcome back to the art room with Mrs. Hallowell. Thanks for joining me, and thank you guys for sending me the pictures of your monsters last week. They were incredible. I've put them up on the Visual Arts homepage on the Home Learning website, so you can go and have a look for them and see if you can spot your one there. Speaking of spotting things, in each of my beginning slides with my Bitmoji, I have hidden a different dog. So there's one on my homepage, one on lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and now lesson 4. Each dog is different. Can you find it? Yeah, this week it's a black dog. It's a terrier sitting on a red cushion. Well done. Every single week I've hidden a different one, so you can look out for that next time. In my picture today, you can see the Elements of Art poster. The element of art that we're going to focus on today is shape. We're going to put lots of different shapes into our picture. So let's begin. We're going to celebrate your perfect pet. This could be a pet from your past, a pet that you own now, or a pet you want to own in the future. This is my dog, Molly. We're going to learn what is a collage. We're going to learn how to construct a collage. We're going to be able to use more than one different type of piece of paper in our collage, and we're going to overlap the pieces of paper. So we're going to place them over the top of each other until we're happy with the position, and we're going to create our own pet, which could be real or imaginary or some pet that we miss. Now, what is a collage? A collage is gluing or placing items onto a flat surface, like a piece of paper. Pictures can be made from simple shapes put together like a puzzle. When you overlap the shapes, you make a new shape. Your collage doesn't really have to be anything, but today we're going to make a pet. We're going to base our work on the work of Peter Clark. He's an artist from London who simply only makes collage. He puts loads of effort into finding the pieces of paper from all around the world, and then he adds them to the picture to tell a story or create a feeling in his animals. He also does lots of collage of clothes and things like that. Some people pay him quite a lot of money to collage their own pets and put the history of their lives into the pictures. When he goes around the world and collects pieces of paper, he collects old maps, he collects song sheets and theatre tickets and magazines and letters and posters, but he collects them from a very long time ago because he likes the feel of them, he likes the texture of the paper. Sometimes he crunches the paper or bends it or folds it. His pieces of work are completely made of paper, and actually they're quite amazing, and you can use some of the ideas from Peter Clark and put them into your own animals and make your own collage today. So some of the animals that he makes are dogs and cats and cows and ducks. I've just chosen some dog pictures because it's easier to focus on one animal. Here's a poodle wearing some sunglasses. Here is a sausage dog with an amazing shirt and tie. You can find lots of things in magazines to put in your pictures. This is my favourite one. It's completely made of maps. This little dog has an image of a tapestry, so it looks like it's wearing a little jacket. Now, the dogs that we're going to make, we don't have lots of old pieces of paper, but some of us have newspaper or coloured pieces of paper, and you can cut out lots of shapes and put them on top of each other. That's called layering. You can make your dog look like he's got shaggy hair by cutting lots of spikes in. You can cut out special areas for the nose or the mouth because that's really what dogs have in real life. You can cut out little mouths, or if that's too hard, you can draw them. You can do dogs with spots. You can even do a cat. If you own a cat, you could do one. Or if you own a guinea pig, you could do a guinea pig too. So there's lots of different things that you could do today. You're going to need to collect lots of bits of paper. So you're going to need to ask a grown-up if you've got any wrapping paper, newspaper or magazines. Don't just rip up any old book. So once you've collected bits of paper from around the house and you've gone on a hunt like Peter Clark does, you might also find coloured pieces of paper. If you don't have coloured piece of paper, you could colour them in using crayons or textures or whatever you have around the house. You're going to need scissors and glue, and as I said, if you can't cut the small things out, you can ask a grown-up to help you, or you can just draw them on with a texture or pencil. I'll show you in the video. You can either copy the video with me, or you can do your own. So you don't have to make a dog, you can make any pet that you might have had in the past, any pet that you might have now, or even a pet that you would love to have in the future. So I'm just going to show you dogs. I might show you a couple of cats, but you can make your own pet, or you can copy the one I do and you can work alongside me. So hopefully you've read the book. Now we're ready to make a pet picture collage. So remember that collage is where we put things onto a flat surface and we're going to overlap them. So we're going to put things on top of each other. So you're going to need to ask a grown-up if you have any newspaper, or I've used some coloured paper in some of mine. You don't have to do that. I've done this one because it's got lots of layers on. So if you're an older student and you want to cut out lots and lots of layers, you can have a think about adding a collar, you could add a dog bone or a bowl. So you could be doing this all day. Depending on how you position your cut out pieces is going to give your dog some emotion. So I've just used a hole punch to create his eye there, but I've cut all the other pieces out. We're going to actually cut the body and the head separately. This is a piece of wrapping paper that I had, just a little bit, so I was like, oh, I might as well use that for the head, and I've used a hole punch here, and I've just cut newspaper hair, and I had some pink paper, so I made a bow, and then I made a collar. So you can add some detail. You don't have to have glitzy paper, you can just have whatever you want. Now your dog or cat could also be on its side, so this particular one is running. I really struggled to do the mouth, so I actually drew that with a texter. So if you're a younger student and you can't cut everything out, then you can draw some things with a texter. Cut as much as you can, and you can get help with the cutting, but I've used a texter as well on that one. This dog here, I positioned its eyes so that they were down, and the eyebrows, and I cut lots of things out, and I cut the nose out in 2 ovals and overlapped them. And again, I didn't do the mouth, so I can add the mouth in. Maybe some little spots where his whiskers would go. Some of my animals I've given a tummy, and some of them I've given a tail. That's why I had to search this one up on the internet because I didn't know how to do pugs. And I've done 2 rectangles, and then I've done some triangles, and I did a curly tail. So I drew on there as well. So let's think about how we're going to make them. I think we'll make this one today so that you can see how it's done. So I have lots of magazines, I've got black paper, I've got some brown wrapping up paper that I'm going to use, but you need to check with a grown-up before you start cutting anything up. So make sure that your grown-up said that you can cut this out. I've got a newspaper, and I'm going to use the part with the words to make my body and my head. So when it comes to doing this dog, he has a separate body and a separate head. I'm going to put mine on yellow paper, that way you can see really clearly. So the body on this is sort of like a hill. You can't see it because I've overlapped it, but it's like a hill. So I'm going to draw a hill shape on my newspaper, and I will cut the hill shape out, and then that will be the body. And then I'm going to find another piece of paper. I'm going to draw an oval shape, and I'm going to cut that out, and that's going to be the head. Now you might need some help with drawing this and cutting it out. So I've cut out a body from my newspaper. I like to put the body part at the bottom of the page. Now the reason that we cut the head out separately is because if you just cut the head and if you just put it straight like that, it might not look like a dog. But if you put it on the side like this and overlap it, it might look like the dog's head is moving. It might be looking this way. So that's why I'm not going to glue this down until I'm completely finished. Now I'm lucky enough at home to have some black paper, but you might not have coloured paper. Or I could use my wrapping paper. So I'm going to draw on here, I'm going to draw an ear shape, and I'm going to cut this out. If you want 2 ears, you can even fold the paper in half, and when you cut this, you can get 2 ears that are the same size. So we're going to have some ears on the dog. So depending on how the dog's head's moving, we're going to put the ears on. There we go. It's starting to look a little bit like a dog already. Oh, I forgot to give this one a tail, so we're not going to make that mistake. Then if you want to have the nose, I like to draw kind of an upside down love heart with a long tail sticking out at the bottom, and that way I'm going to get a nose and a mouth at the same time. Now this is going to be quite hard to cut out, so you might need to ask for some help. If you're a much younger student, you might draw the nose and the mouth on. Now I've also cut some eyes out, some long eyes, just like this dog. I think long eyes are good because they kind of make them look a little bit sad. Now depending on your cutting skills and what age level you are, you might decide that you can cut some eyebrows. Here's quite big eyebrows. So you might decide you want to do that. The next thing you're going to do is cut some spots out. Now a trick with some of the spots that you cut out is you can cut them in half, because you're not going to see the whole of the dog, and the spots will go around the side of the dog. So the trick is to put the flat part of the half circle up against a flat part of the dog, and that looks like the spots are going just off the face or body of the dog. And then some of the spots you can cut out and just leave whole. You might need some help with that. Small ones, some big ones, whatever you want to do. Some dogs have a different colour tummy, so I might draw a tummy shape on my paper, cut that out. Some dogs have a different colour tail. Remember, you might be doing a cat, or you might be doing a fish, you might be doing a guinea pig. I don't know what pets you've got. So the more detail you add to it, the more interesting it starts to look. So remember, we're not going to glue it down until we're really happy. That ear I'm going to put under, and that ear I'm going to put over. So that's going to be exciting. Now I'm going to cut out a tail for this dog, because I think he needs a tail. I'm going to cut a long tail. Well, it's very long. And that can go, and I like to put that again at the bottom of the page, and I'm going to tuck that into its body so it looks like it's attached to the body. Now this dog had a little bit going down his nose, and a lot of dogs have that. So I might use the magazine. I might take a page out of the magazine and draw. It's kind of a rectangular shape, but it gets thinner as it goes down the dog's nose. And I'm going to cut that out. That's going to make it look like it's got a little bit of different coloured fur going down his nose. And that's why I don't glue anything on. I'm going to tuck it under his nose, put it there in the middle. So remember that you can draw a dog bowl, or you might draw something in the background, and when you're really happy with your dog, you can glue it all down, just like I did this one, and then you can put it up on the wall. So you don't need coloured paper, but any paper that you have, we're going to be like Peter Clark and go everywhere and look for paper. We're going to ask first if it's alright for us to use it, and then we're going to cut it out and we're going to see how many different textures and colours and patterns we can get into our picture to add interest. So you might have a cat, you might have a turtle, you might have a guinea pig, you might have a fish. Whatever animal you do, we're going to collage. We're going to be collage artists for the day. Make sure you send me any pictures of your work because I love seeing your work. And at the end, have a think about, did you need some practice with cutting things out? Are you a practice penguin? Did you understand the learning intention and you feel you were successful and you have done it, dog? Do you feel like you could teach someone this activity? Are you a teacher to? So if you have a grown-up with you today, maybe see if they want to do a collage as well and they can send me a picture because it's actually really hard, and then they'll see how difficult it is to be a collage artist like Peter Clark. It's actually very difficult. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a lot of success. I can't wait to see your pictures and put them some more up on my webpage on the Visual Arts site, so hopefully we'll get some more of your amazing pictures. If you don't get to send them to me, that's okay, you can keep them, bring them to school, or you can show your teacher at your next Google Meet because they'll be very interested. So I hope you've enjoyed it and that it wasn't too difficult, and don't forget to glue it down when it's finished, otherwise it'll get messed up like my one. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.